Hi everyone, it's Scott here from Crystal Yarn for the Yorkshire Yarn Fest. Today I'm going to be talking about my new cowl pattern. I've called this the Spring Equinox cowl, and the idea behind the name comes from the stitch detailing looking like little flowers emerging. Now I've knit this using a 100 gram skeins of a 4-ply. There's 7 different mini skein colours I've used in this, but you could use as many as you wanted. You could also knit it longer using different colours or the same colour. If you've noticed, there in the design, the contrast colour is only in the actual flower stitching, and that is because the contrast colours are all held in just by the floats. That way you only get the contrast coming through and there's no other stitches, coloured stitches throughout it. I would love to see someone maybe do a gradient version in the mini skeins. I'd also love to see someone use a variegated sort of colourway in the contrast colours, so something like this yarn that I've got here. So you'd get a very random combination of colours throughout the cowl. I think that would look really nice. But it's a really easy knit. It's quite fun once you get used to the stitch repeats. So it's just a basic stockinette tube with the little detailing on. I knit this using 2.75 needles and then changed to 3.25 for the body of it, and then the smaller needles just for the rib at the top and the bottom. A little tip as well, when you are knitting this and you finished it, I blocked this on an old cereal box because it's just the perfect shape for blocking. So if you do want to knit it, it's free on my website. It's the Spring Equinox cowl. There's also kits that I'll be dyeing for the colour repeats, so going for the rainbow effect, and you could knit this the opposite way, or you can do it the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then back out like I've done. I'm also currently working on another pattern, and now the sun is coming through my little dye room and it gets really warm in here, so it's a perfect time to talk about mittens. So this is another pattern that I'm designing. This is a double knit mitten pattern, and this will be Autumn Equinox mittens, I'll be calling this. And as you can see, it's got a cabled right from the cuff right up through to the top. I prefer fingerless mitts to any other sort of mitts because I can't be bothered fiddling around doing the little bits in between. I do like full mitts as well, but I do prefer just to knit a fingerless one. So that'll be the Autumn Equinox, and that'll be my next cowl pattern coming out. Next free pattern. All my patterns are on Ravelry for anyone that does use Ravelry and wants to put them into their projects, write notes on them and things like that. So they are on Ravelry, but they're downloaded free from my website. So if you can't find them on my website, but you do use Ravelry, just look up Crystal Yarn on there and you should be able to find them as well. Oh, it's really warm. I've done some Easter inspired colourways, so I'll show you the one that I was just showing a minute ago. This one I've called Painted Eggs, and it is basically just a very highly variegated colour with just very light colours throughout it. And the idea was behind when people paint and dye eggs at Easter, I really just wanted to do something fun, colourful and very poppy, and I thought it would look great as a contrast if you bought a skein of that and had a semi-solid skein to do the cowl in, because this would only take less than 10 grams, I would say, in the pattern, so you'd still have enough to knit a pair of socks afterwards as well. Another one of my colourways is Rebirth, I've called it, and the whole inspiration behind this was the daffodil. Now the daffodil is the symbol of rebirth due to its popping out at spring and then dying off and then coming back every year. I feel like it's a very fitting colourway for the time as well, that lockdowns are gradually lifting. Will we go back to normal? Will it be something different? Who knows? So I'll just show you another one. These are all very different. These are all limited, so this one and the painted eggs here. These are both limited colourways, so there's only a limited amount in stock, and then once they're gone, they will be gone. Another colourway as well here. This one I've called Eucalyptus, and the inspiration behind this was eucalyptus leaves have a very purplish sort of tinge to them. So I went for like a silvery green and purple tone in the hopes that when knitted up it would give you that sort of effect that a eucalyptus leaf would show. I will go back through my cowl as well, just anyone that's missed it that just joined recently. In my website as well, I've just talked about my glove pattern that I'm in the, well, my mitten pattern that I'm in the middle of designing. I do have quite a few different double knit skeins in colourways on sale at the moment on my website. So if you are thinking about colder month projects already, because I know some people like to knit for a winter in the like spring summer and then knit for the spring summer in the winter months, so then you've always got something new to wear in the new season. So there are lots of different colourways. This is on double knit non-superwash British Blueface Leicester. I should have said as well that these three colourways, these are on 75% British Blueface Leicester, 25% nylon 4-ply. So they would be great for socks or any other 4-ply pattern. And in my sale as well, there's some of my yak 4-ply that's available, which I have shown previous times on Yorkshire Yarn Fest. Those ones I've knit a cowl in it for the garter snake cowl. They're all semi-solid colourways. I will be doing some more variegated colourways on yak, and I'm also currently waiting for some more Corriedale to arrive, because I do have a lot of semi-solid Corriedale skeins, which again you could definitely use Corriedale for this. I use my Blueface Leicester nylon 4-ply for the cowl, but you could easily use a Corriedale for that as well. So just again, for anyone that missed this is a spring Equinox cowl. It's available for free to download the pattern on my website, and there's also pre-order cowl kits. Anyone that orders one of the cowl kits after Yorkshire Yarn Fest is finished, I'll be getting all those dyed up, hopefully getting them sent out by the end of next week as well for you. So it's just a simple contrast colour tube, contrast colour daisy stitch. The contrast colours are held in with the floats at the back, that way you don't get any stitches poking through on the front. There are also, on my website, I have the Easy Breezy Brioche cowl, which I showed a couple of months ago. That one is knitting an Aran weight yarn, and that's a brioche beginner's pattern for anyone that would like to learn brioche. There's also a couple of sock patterns as well, so I've got my Murmuration socks on there as well, and my Vortices, they're quite popular sock patterns, and my Ursula socks, which are a ribbed pattern. So yeah, it's only a short one for me this week because day job has gotten in the way terribly recently, so I'll leave you and I'll give you a little bit of a break before the next person starts. Thank you.